Very important chapter for 10th class students, production and employment. So the lesson begins like this. India's GDP grew only by 5% in the year 2012-2013. The agriculture growth was also moderated, while a slowdown was witnessed in construction sector and also in the service sector. So the statement which was given in the year 2012-13 in a newspaper about the GDP, slowdown of GDP. Now what is GDP here? What relation does it has with the sectors of Indian economy? Now let us try to understand what is meant by GDP and what are the sectors of Indian economy. Now sectors of Indian economy, if you see, the first sector which is called as the primary sector, the secondary sector, the tertiary sector. Primary sector contains agriculture, mining and forestry in it. Secondary sector contains manufacturing of goods in industries and factories by using tools and machines. Then the tertiary sector, which is also called as the service sector, which provides services that are required in production and other services to the people. So these are the three sectors in India. Not only in India, these are the three sectors almost all in every country. Classify the following list of occupations under the agriculture, industry and service sector. You see the category here, occupation and the classification. You have to answer these. People who are indulging in the various activities. For example, the tailor, what activity he is indulging in? Basket maker, then flower cultivation, then milk vendor, then the fisherman, the priest, the courier boy and the workers in a match factory. All these people are indulging in some or the other activity, either it is primary, either it is secondary, either it is a tertiary or service sector. Now basically we have to understand one thing. All these people, everyone in the world who is participating in production activity or manufacturing activity or service activity, he is just trying to do all these things to earn money. And the money is going to fulfill his needs. Money is going to fulfill his desires, comforts and luxuries. So all these people, either they are in primary sector, secondary sector or service sector, they are just producing something, producing a good or producing a service. So on the basis of classification, I have to decide what these people are doing. Now the following table shows the percentage of workers employed in different sectors in the year 2000 in India in 1972-73 and in the year 2015-16, that is even after 43 years. Now you see the employment of people or the number of people employed in these three sectors in the year 1972-73 and in the year 2015 and 2016. Now you see here years are given. 1972-73, 2016 and 2017, 2015 and 2016. Now primary sector, that is agriculture, secondary sector, that is industry, tertiary sector, that is service. The following table shows the percentage of workers employed in different sectors in two different years. One is 1972-73 and one is 2015-2016. Now you see here the years of 1972-73 and 2015 and 2016. The percentage of people employed in agriculture, the percentage of people employed in industry and the percentage of people employed in service sector. Now the first one is 1972-73. The number of percentage, the percentage of people employed in agriculture was 74%. And by the time it has come to 2015 and 16, the percentage has decreased to 47%. The industrial sector in 1972-73, it was 11%. And by the time it has come to 2015 and 16, it has become 22%. The service sector in the year 1972-73, it was 15%. By the time it is 2015 and 2016, that is after 43 years, the service sector has become 31%. Now, what are the major changes that you observe from the above table? The major changes we observe from the above table is that the percentage of people employed in agriculture has decreased from 74% to 47%. And the percentage of people employed in industry has increased from 11% to 22%. And even in the service sector also, the percentage of people employed were 15%, now it has become 31%. Now these are the major changes what we see here from 1970 to 73 to 2015 and 2016. From what we have read before, discuss what could be some of the reasons for these changes. Now what are the reasons for these changes? From 1972 to 73 and 2015 to 2016, that is even after 43 years. Now what we have read, what we have seen in this table, what were the major changes we have seen now? Now what are the reasons for these changes? What are the different reasons for the changes we will study? In the beginning of the lesson, we have come across this word called as GDP, gross domestic product. What is this GDP? We are going to understand now here. Now say example, suppose there are two families living in a place. One is called as a rich family and one is called as a poor family. Then how could you make a judgment by telling that it is a rich family and it is a poor family? We will be saying a family, or we will be describing a family as a rich or a poor based on what? Based on things just we see in them. What we see in them? Just like a rich family, what kind of clothes they are wearing, what kind of food they are eating, what kind of houses they are living, the residence where they are living, what kind of vehicles they are using, and when they are becoming ill or sick, what kind of hospitals they are going and taking treatment. Based on these things only we can come to a conclusion that whether the people are rich, whether the family is a rich family or a poor family. Now on the basis of this only, for the country as a whole, we will use the total of the value of goods and services produced in that country as the indicator or the income of that country. So how can you say that whether a country is a rich country or a poor country? We can decide whether a country is a rich country or a poor country based on its GDP, gross domestic product. Now how do we calculate this gross domestic product? First of all, we have to understand this. For the country as a whole, we use the total value of the goods and services produced in the country. It is an indicator of income for the country. The total amount of goods and services produced in a country, it is the indicator of income of that country. Now for this we use the technical term to denote it as gross domestic product. Now the following graph shows the value of GDP for India for two different years. One is 1973-74 and one is 2013 and 2014. Now one can compare the kind of increase that has taken place in the production of these three sectors. Now how it has taken place? Now you see here the graph which is shown here. One graph in this is showing 1973 to 74. Three different colors are given for three different sectors, and one is for 2013 and 2014. Now in 1973-74, if you can see the blue color indicating the agriculture sector, which has given the GDP by agriculture and service sector and industry in rupees. Now if you see this image, the graph which is shown in this image is telling about the GDP by agriculture, industry and service sector, which has been given in rupees in crores. Now 1973-74, agriculture sector's GDP in rupees was 2,45,479 and it was 1,05,575 from industrial sector and it was 2,59,509 from service sector. This is in the year 1973-74. Now if you come to 2013 and 2014, now agriculture sector has given its part in GDP as 8 lakhs 548 rupees in crores. Now for the year 2013 and 2014, the GDP from agriculture was 8 lakhs 548, and from industrial sector, that is the secondary sector, it is 10 lakhs 73,561. And you see there is a tremendous growth in the service sector. In 1973-74, the service sector has given 2 lakhs 59,509. Now it has tremendously grown here. You see, it is round about 38 lakhs 67,681. This is the part of GDP from service sector in the year 2013 and 2014. Now, how do we estimate the GDP? People are engaged in various activities, economic activities. In the above sectors, we have studied either it is primary, either it is secondary, or either it is tertiary. They produce large number of goods and services. What we desire to find out is how many goods and services are produced in a country. What we desire to find out is actually how many goods and services are produced in a country. With as many as thousands of people are working in these three sectors and producing as many as goods and services, you might be thinking this is an impossible task. Not only it is an impossible task, but you may be wondering that how we can add up the total number of cars produced in a country, total number of computers produced in a country, total number of mobile phones produced in a country, and total number of services provided there by the people, and total number of baskets, total number of parts. In this way, all the goods and services produced in the country, how can we calculate all these total? It is highly impossible. Then, to get around this problem, the famous economists, they suggested that the value of the goods and services should be used rather than adding up the total number of the goods and services. As it is very difficult, as it is very problematic to do that, the economists have come out with a good suggestion stating that we have to take into consideration the value of goods and services rather than adding up the actual number of goods and services produced. Then for instance, how do we calculate this? For instance, a farmer who sells paddy to a rice mill owner for ₹25 per kg, and he sells 100 kilograms of paddy. Now here 100 kilograms is the total number of goods produced here. And the value of the goods is 25 per kg. 100 into 25 means it is 2500. So 2500 is the value of the goods produced here by the farmer and sold to the rice mill owner. The rice mill owner, after purchasing 100 kilograms of paddy, he will take out rice from it and sell it out. 80 kilograms of rice he has got and 20 kilograms of husk he has got after cleaning it. So he sells 80 kilograms of rice to the hotelier for 40 rupees per kg and 20 kilograms of husk at 20 rupees per kg. Now the total value of goods produced by the rice miller is 80 kilograms of rice into 40 rupees per kg plus 20 kilograms of husk into 20 rupees per kg, that is equal to 3600. This is what the hotelier pays to the rice miller. The hotelier has purchased from it 80 kilograms of rice, 20 kilograms of husk. So he will be paying the money for this both as 3600 rupees. Now the hotelier, after taking out rice from it, he makes idli, dosha and other food items from it, and he also uses the husk to produce fuel. The hotelier, after taking rice from the rice mill owner, 80 kilograms of rice he is using it for making idli and dosha, and 20 kilograms of husk he is using it as a fuel for his hotel. Now the hotel owner, by using rice and husk, makes out rupees 5,000 rupees. The hotel owner, by using rice and husk, he makes out 5,000 rupees from the sale of idli and dosha. Now goods such as paddy, rice and husk in this example are intermediary goods. They are not being used by the consumer as a final good. So they are used as inputs to make the final good, which in this example is idli and dosha. If one were to add the value of all the physical inputs in between plus the value of final good, then we will be doubling it. The value of final good already includes the value of all these goods in between are intermediate goods that are used in making the final good. Now what is the final good here? Idli and dosha are the final good here. Rice, paddy and husk are the intermediate goods. So already the value of the rice, paddy and husk is paid. It should not be included again in the final value of the goods. Now each stage the producer paid for these inputs produced by someone before. For example, hence the value of the rupees 5,000 worth of hotel items sold by the hotelier, which is called as final good, already includes 3,600, the value of rice, the value of husk, which are used as physical inputs, which are also used as intermediate goods. Similarly, the rice and the husk produced by the miller at rupees 3,600 already includes the value of physical input paddy, that is rupees 2,500 purchased by him. So he has already paid the value of input paddy 2,500, already he has paid to the farmer. Similarly, the rice and the husk produced by the miller at rupees 3,600 already exists or includes the value of the physical input, that is paddy, rupees 2,500 purchased by him. He has paid already this 2,500 to the rice mill owner. He did not produce the paddy. The farmer produced this in the stage 1 to count the value of the rice and paddy separately, meaning counting the value of the same thing in number of times. First as paddy, then as rice, husk and finally as idli and dosha. That means that we are adding the value of the paddy, value of the rice, value of the idli, dosha. Okay, so that means that we are doubling the value. So it is not the correct thing to do. Another way of looking at these things are these in stages to focus only on the value added at every step. So we have to take into consideration the value of every step. By step by the producer. To find out the value added by the producer to the physical inputs purchased by him, we will re-look again at the above example. Say example, stage 1, sale of paddy by the farmer to the rice miller is equal to, value added here is 2,500, obtained by deducting input value 0 from the product value rupees 2,500. That means that the farmer who has produced the paddy did not have any kind of investment here. He already has the input, that is the seeds for sowing and raising the paddy. That means the input value is here 2,500. In stage 2, the sale of rice and husk by the rice miller to the hotelier, that is equal to, value added here is rupees 3,600. Now, obtained by the deducting input value of 2,500 from product value 3,600. Now stage 3, sale of idlis and doshas is equal to value added rupees 1,400 by obtained by deducting here. Obtained by deducting input value of rupees 3,600 from the product value of 5,000. Now if you see the value of the goods at different stages, 2,500 or 2,500 in the stage 1, 1,100 in the stage 2, 1,400 in the stage 3, that all calculated is equal to 5,000. What we got in the first example, 5,000 is the final value, and if you take out the value of all the goods at different stages also, we are getting 5,000 here. So this is the final value of the goods and services produced here. It makes sense only to include the value added at each stage or the final value of the goods. The value of final goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year provides the total production of the sector for that year. So, The sum of production in three sectors gives what is called the gross domestic product GDP of a country. By adding the total final value of goods and services from these three sectors gives us the GDP. It is the value of all goods and services which are final produced in a country in a particular year. You might have noticed that GDP figures are given for the year 2013-14. This means that the figures are pertaining to that year of from April 2013 to March 2014. This period is also called as the financial year. A calculated year means from April 2013 to March 2014. This period is called as the financial year. GDP records the market value of all final goods and services. GDP records the market value of all final goods and services produced in a country in a given year. Now, another topic what we are going to discuss here in this lesson is the changes which have taken place and the importance of the sectors. Changes in the importance of the sectors, value of goods and services produced and employment of the people. Now, so far we know that how the size of GDP has increased over the years. Earlier in the graph image, we have seen that how the size of GDP has increased over the years. As more and more goods and services are produced, it is essential to know how this increase has taken place and what kind of activities contributed to this growth of GDP. We have to discuss here, we have to understand here why this growth has taken place and what are the things which have taken place, what are the activities or what kind of activities which contributed to the growth of GDP in our country.